Alright, guys, we're coming back with week 5 of Season of the Deep. Let's see what we need to do here. Wait, am I supposed to be in the helm? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be in the helm. We did a bunch of fishing over the weekend too. The fish tank is looking real nice, all the different plant life. There's some exotic fish in there too, but I can't really tell which ones are the exotic fish. I don't know if fishing is actually worthwhile. I was fishing for like an hour and a half, and I didn't really get a whole lot out of it. If I can get ascendant alloys out of fishing, that'd be awesome. I don't think you can, though. Saint.
I see you. You see me too? Ha, good, good. Then it is all working. You, me, this projector. Even if we sometimes falter.
Right.
There is a war building in Sloane's eyes. One that Zivu Arath will exploit, as she did with Osiris. Savathun wore his face, but it was Zivu Arath who took his light. Her whips drove him into a frenzy, lured him into danger, forced Sagira's sacrifice, and left him to die. Now she twists my thoughts into thorns, draws out the faces of the suffering Elixni into my dreams. She whispers that I took pleasure in their pain. I see their eyes as they died by my hands, and they see me. She does not lie. She challenges what you hold as a strength. Osiris's ambition, my protection, Sloane's duty. I have felt how the right word, the right face, can incite one to violence. But I have changed. What she has taken, it will not break me. Sloane is no warrior of glass, but the war within her. Even stone crumbles under enough strife. Stay with her, Guardian, as I should have with Osiris. We must offer her what support we are able, even if she does not want it.
You're right. You're right. So, unlike Savathun, who seems to play on people's inhibitions and does very subtle psychological manipulation to her opponents, it looks like Zivu Arath gives off like this aura that brings out people's aggression and makes them act irrationally, and even kind of like forces them to relive some of their more heinous, violent acts and kind of play it against them. So that's basically what he's going over. He recounts that Zivu Arath goaded Osiris into battle he couldn't win, and how Sagira was slain as a result. Even Saint himself is not immune to the war god's barbs. He urged you to stay beside Sloane and offer her the support she needs. So yeah, she's stabbing at us with more violent natures. Although we don't seem to be affected by this, I guess because we don't have anything that really troubles us. The screen illuminates, revealing an encoded message that unscrambles itself as the projector recognizes your credential. It reads, "This on? Oh. Start recording. Oh. It is. Okay. Hey, hero." Hey, hero. You dredged up some mighty fine scrap for me. Pyramid tech that all those rot bags could get their hands on, and I hammered that black gold into shape. Now my rig's running smoother than liquid methane. Sloane and the long girl, the special link is pretty strong thanks to you and me, but it's missing something to bridge the gap between the big old worm and our little old lady thunder guns, respectively. Seeing as how you're always in the mood to do favors, how about one more? I need something under the table. We need a little something out of both worlds, you dig? One of those traitor ghosts, the bad ones, the hive ones. Scrap them, bring me the fragments. Savvy's throne world is chock full of them, but if you mind details, I'll hit you soon. Oh, he wants us to kill Hive Guardians. We need the Hive Guardian fragments. Speak to Hawthorn in the tower. What? When does Hawthorn have anything to say to us? I didn't even know that chick was still part of the story. I guess she did give us, like, the message from Ghosts of the Deep, because she had picked it up as an encoded thing. Oh, she is legit asking us for help. It's part of the story mission. It's not a side quest. Go to the Hawthorn in the tower. Okay. Interesting. He's trying to still bridge the gap between Asa and Sloane. We have plenty of Golden Age tech. We stole a little bit of the pyramid tech from the Scorn, but we need a little bit extra under the table. No one's gonna want to know that he's using pieces of ghosts, even if they are hive ghosts, to fuel and kind of juice up his machine to help her with the connection. So he's like, yeah, keep this under the table. No one should know what we're doing. It's like, all right, you got it. We'll keep it under the table. Iron Banner's going on. Yes, Iron Banner's going on.
Barter is warranted.
I got another combine action. Oh, you know what? I still have a combine action in my inventory that I gotta send to the vault. This one is the one we got from like the new light quest. This one's actually pretty good. Increases reload speed after sprinting, kill clip, stability. That's pretty good. I don't know what the god roll is for that hand cannon, but we'll have to figure it out. Banshee, what are you selling? You got a load brock. Sales by pitch glass. Contingency plan. Fourth time's a charm. Focus fury. That's pretty good for a scout rifle. Discord box breathing. I don't know about that. Killing when surrounded. Yo, that's very good. Destabilizing rounds, harsh language, and it has envious assassin. That's very good. I'll take that. Relentless strikes and surrounded. That's also pretty good for that sword.
Here you go.
Give me a little bit of everything, buddy. All right. God, I love this Tridian brace armor that has like this giant crab arm on your side. It's so good. One of my favorite characters from the Transformer universe is actually Megatron, but like Megatron from the second movie, where he gets that giant crab arm buster cannon with like the giant sword embedded into it. You don't have new dialogue.
What can I do for you?
Hawthorn mutters something to herself and shakes her head. Look, I'm not going to pretend I understand why Savathun has fish on her throne or what could cause them to swarm. What I do know is that there's usual activity in this place worth investigating. Oh, she wants us to fish? That's not part of the seasonal quest, is it? Oh no, that's just... Defeat Hathrek, the glass weird... I don't know.
Catch you later.
Wants us to earn points fishing. Let's go at least check to see what that collective action... Oh no, that, God, I don't even remember what that hand cannon was. I forgot what it's called already. I gotta do Iron Banner this week, too. I think there's one more Iron Banner after this.
Hi there.
Combined action, there we go. Offhand strike, no distractions, no thanks. Wants us to complete a lost sector. This looks like a mission-specific lost sector. I already have this iterative loop with Volt Shot. Prodigal Return is pretty good with Volt Shot too, but it kind of works against Envious Assassin because you have to reload. Harsh Truths just seems like a better fit with Envious Assassin. Oh. Oh no! No! Dang it. My foot slipped. So this is where we're gonna get the hive ghost that we need. I like how you can just shoot that thing and let it just do its own thing. Oh! I was say, where's the lucid hive? Oh! I killed myself because I looked too far to the ground. Alright, we have what we need, supposedly, so it's just asking us to return to the helm already. Hive ghost fragments? That was literally it. This cannot be the weekly mission already. There's no way it's over already. Oh, wow. Is it really over? Where did we get that coral from? I didn't go get coral for you.
Our minds are one, linked by the darkness. But only for a moment. I must borrow Sloane's voice to speak my words. Please, heed them well.
Oh, okay, we're getting a cutscene. Okay.
Before you can confront the witness, you must understand it. The witness's first victims were once like you, struggling for survival, bolstered by hope, until their hopes became reality. They called it the Gardener, their deity of life. It ushered them into a golden age. For eons they prospered, but their newfound god never spoke to them. It lavished them with gifts, but not with guidance. And though they lived in paradise, they came to crave a greater purpose. They desired meaning, structure, a winnower, to shape the garden. Their scholars discovered that the Gardener shared a connection with another entity among the stars. They called it the Vail, and when they found it, they arrived to claim it. They already knew much about the light, how it could bend the laws of the universe and create life. But they came to realize that it could bring ruin just as easily. The cosmic events it set in motion could wipe out entire civilizations in a heartbeat, without reason. And so they saw the light, not as a source of prosperity, but of unfettered chaos. By studying the Vail, they came to know the darkness. A power that was shaped by thought and consciousness. And in the darkness, they found the means to carve away the chaos of existence, to calcify it into a final shape. Eternal and perfected. They brought the Vail back to the Gardener in an attempt to strengthen their connection. There, they could reshape reality itself. The Gardener would not allow it. And so it fled their world. But they would not be deterred. Having witnessed the truth in the darkness, they used its binding power to merge themselves into the salvation they craved. Thus began the Witness's pursuit. Its campaign to impose meaning on a meaningless universe. One that is nearly at its end.
Huh. Okay, so some things are coming into focus now. Well, that's interesting. So the witness is an amalgamation of an entire race in one body. And I guess it was one of, if not the very first civilization blessed by the light. Because I guess it originated on their planet. The species as a whole prayed for salvation, and the traveler was born out of their desperation. And while the traveler blessed them with, you know, the gift of life, of allowing them to prosper, the traveler didn't provide them guidance or meaning, and that's kind of like what they wanted too. They wanted to know what their place was in all of this. And so they searched the universe for something, and they found what they believed to have been the traveler's equal, which was the Vail. So the traveler is one side of the coin, the Vail is the other side of the coin. The traveler embodies the light, the Vail embodies the darkness, supposedly. And the witness is still not the end-all be-all thing that controls the darkness in the background. It is just one of the very first beings to ever use it. So that's interesting. So the Vail is the source of the darkness? Is that what they're telling me? What that is? Traveler's the source of the light. The Vail is the source of the darkness. And the witness, I guess the collective known as the witness, they tried to merge the two together, but to provide like perfect balance and unity in the universe. But the traveler said, "Hell no, I'm not binding with that thing," and it ran away. And then the witness has been following them, hunting them down for the entire time to like bring what they believe what they call the final shape into order. But then why did they seemed like in the Lightfall campaign that they were interested in destroying the Vail then? So the Vail, they wanted to bind the traveler with the Vail, but then in the Lightfall campaign they tried to destroy it because there is this connection between the two, and the witness, or in the traveler reached out to the Vail for assistance, or so. It's starting to get messy again. The more I think about it, the messier it's getting. It's starting to unravel if I think on it too hard. Okay, give me a TLDR, whoever this person is.
Well, now we've heard what Asa had to tell us. We know our enemy better than ever. To think that it all started with the need for purpose. How that need became an obsession. What bothers me most is how much I understand it. This mission, it's my purpose, my reason for being, my guiding light. Without it, I'm lost. I don't know who I am or what I'm supposed to do. And that lack of direction, it's harder to face than 1,000 battles. I felt the same about my previous mission when I held the line on Titan. And if I'm being honest, it feels like I failed. I survived, but for what reason? What was it all meant to achieve? The only answer I've found is to learn what Asa knows. If I can do that, it will all have been worth it. Our link ended before Asa could explain how to get through the portal. The bond took its toll. But we'll both be ready again soon. When that time has come and gone, then I can feel like I accomplished the mission.
She knows a way to breach the portal where the witness went? How does she know? Sloane seems to carry the full weight of Asa's revelation on her shoulders, likening the witness's obsession with finding purpose to her own internal struggles. Her connection with Asa ended before she could tell how to get through the portal. Come on. Is there actually a way through the portal, or is it like we have to wait for him to let us in? I think the pulse rifle and the sword are all I have left to earn, so Which are we closer to? The pulse rifle. We need one more pulse rifle, and we need a couple more swords. So yeah, the pulse rifle is what we need more of. Different times, and then if we deep sight it, we have it all done. Okay, what's the weekly terminal mission 2?
You never did tell me why you trust the Nine so much.
Oh, I don't. Not even a little. I trust Orin.
Orin.
Long story. The short of it is, I may have had a feeling or two for somebody a long time ago. Somebody that lost themselves along the way. But there's a little piece of her still out there. A sliver. Who still has a feeling or two for the somebody I could be. So I trust her. Because she ain't never steered me wrong. No matter how rotten I was. Because at the end of the day, maybe we gotta put our faith in something other than ourselves. Even if we're too stubborn to admit it.
I didn't expect you to put a lot of stock in faith.
And I didn't expect you to lose yours and keep moving. Guess we're all full of surprises, ain't we?
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that you're being genuine.
Oh, I'm always genuine. People just ain't always paying attention. For real, though, Moondust might have given me a push. Thought it'd help.
Sounds like familiar advice. Is it, though? Helping?
No joke? I think so.
Then we have that in common, too.
Ah, it's good to see Drifter really, really believing now that he's like, yeah, I'm all for this hero business stuff now. It's like I don't want to be, but you know what, man? It's pretty good. And like, yeah, he had a thing for Orin, which was the emissary of the Nine. After she was taken by them and made their emissary, he kind of stuck with them just out of love for her. And then, as time went on, and Eris kind of warmed up to the Drifter too, he started kind of having feelings for her, and he sort of, you know, allowed himself to get roped in with her business, and her business is, you know, being a hero and doing what's best for everybody, and he bought into it. He bought into it. He was always skeptical at the time, but nah, he bought into it. Good on Drifter. He's turning into a real friend now, if he wasn't already. I'm glad it's just not the Crow show anymore. Drifter's also a very cool character too. I like Crow as much as everybody else too. He's the closest thing to family that the Guardian has, but the Drifter is also one of those characters where like, yeah, he's kind of a jerk, but he can also be a really good guy if he's motivated enough to do it. He doesn't always do things cleanly, but I think he mentioned it one time or another that sometimes somebody has to do the dirty thing in order to keep the people who are normally clean. Okay, well, the weekly story is shorter, but there was a cutscene, I guess, that offsets it. So, again, if I think too hard on this, it almost starts to unravel, because why would they go... Because it looks like the Witness's original idea was to bring the Vail and the Traveler together, but then when the Traveler split, it followed them, but then how did we get the Vail from wherever they were on their ancient homeworld to Neomuna? I mean, I know Sabathun brought it there, but how did she find it? And then if their whole thought, or their whole idea was to join the Traveler and the Vail together to make what they believe to be the perfect shape of both life and order and purpose, why would they try to blow it up during the campaign? Are they just jaded at that point? Like, they don't care about joining that stuff together? And again, I'm starting to still come back to the idea that they are unfortunately... The bad guys here are seemingly another scorned species the Traveler touched, and it abandoned. That's what the Witness is. And then the Witness used the darkness they learned from the Vail. The entire civilization bound themselves together into a singular individual with the sole purpose of hunting down the Traveler and creating the final shape, and then in that of itself gave them the purpose they were seeking. And they are now trying to hunt down the Traveler to force that final shape on them as well. It explains why the Witness looks so goofy and why there's so many of those weird faces inside of like the smoke cloud above their head. It's because it's the entire civilization worth of individuals. It also kind of lets me know that the Witness, their darkness pyramids and stuff like that, aren't necessarily like darkness incarnate technology. It is just extremely uber advanced technology because of how ancient it is. Because again, the Traveler seemingly originated on their planet. You see it coming out of the ground of their planet. It is born of their planet, and their technology is kind of linked into the Traveler in the way that it's paracausal, just from how ancient and how advanced it is. It's able to bend the laws of reality through sheer technological marvel.
Come on, let's talk.
It's an interesting concept, but I mean, the more I think on it, the more like weird it gets, and more of like, well, wait a minute, it starts to unravel and starts to fall apart if I think on it too hard. And yeah, I'm gonna stop thinking on it and just let someone else. I'll probably wait for Bife to put out a video on this and let him give me the TLDR and make it make more sense. But for the time being, it just seems really shoddily put together. But okay, that's the weekly story mission. It's next week we're going to supposedly find out how to breach the portal from Asa. I'm assuming it's gonna be one of those things where it's gonna take 6 months to breach the portal while we figure out where it went, and that'll be the seasonal story missions of us like gathering the supplies or gathering the materials needed to breach the portal. And maybe we'll learn a little bit more about the Lucent Hive in the meantime. We're spending a lot of time in Savathun's throne world gathering supplies from there, but it'd be nice if like the Lucent Hive were brought in too to help us with stuff. There's still a lot of things happening with the Ghost of the Deep Dungeon as far as that lore implication goes. That would be interesting to see if they bring that into a future season. Maybe the aftermath of that, or kind of do a whole season just around the Lucent Hive. That would be really cool. But that's the story mission. I don't have really... I mean, it's fuzzy, it's hazy, but it is what it is. I can't think of much to say on it other than it seems a little bit wonky if I think on it too hard, but maybe I'm misinterpreting some things, or maybe I'm misunderstanding some things, but we'll see. Anyways, we're going to cut it here, guys, and we'll come back next week when we actually have a full-blown, hopefully end-of-the-season story mission. I know that this will be, like, the mid-season story mission. There's usually, like, a mid-season, which is, like, the end of the mainline story, and then there's, like, an end-of-the-season story quest where, like, it kind of, like, there's some sort of prologue that leads into the next thing. Before we go, though, I am going to ask one more end-of-the-week sort of question that I want to be starting to add it to these, you know, weekly missions. My question for the week is more or less, do you think that Bungie is adding way too much monetization and adding way too many clunky spending options to this game? Or do you think they're actually making some really poor decisions as far as how they monetize this game as well? Asdacross, he was another really popular Bungie YouTuber. Not Bungie, but Destiny YouTuber, put out a video about all the microtransaction things that Destiny's been going through. It's a pretty long video. I'd recommend watching it for sure, and I'll even put like a link in the description for that video specifically. The very first week of this season, I was also under the impression, just from the get-go, that there was way more monetization in the Eververse store than normal. Stuff was crazy overpriced. They had new bundles for weapon ornaments and shader ornaments and like stuff that was bundled together for specific weapons. They just have way more in the store than I've ever seen before, and their prices for them are way higher than normal. And even then I was pretty shocked that all this stuff is just in the store to begin with, but also the pricing they're asking for it, as well as the cosmetics you would get for it. And even then I was like, man, this is a lot, but you know, it's whatever. But even after I watched Asdacross's video on the Eververse microtransactions and monetization, I was like, holy hell, if I was a brand new player jumping into this game for free without any idea about how to play this game, there was like no intro missions, There's no campaign I can sink my teeth into to kind of let me know more about the world. The majority of the game is locked off behind a paywall in the newest expansions. And again, if you were a brand new player jumping in, you would have no idea what's happening. This game would not capture your interest, even in the slightest. Because all of it is hidden behind microtransactions and monetization and paywalls to play the majority of the game. A good, like, fifth of the game would be the only thing you have your hands free to, and then the rest, like the other 4/5 of the game, are hidden behind paywalls. And not to mention the stuff that gets sunset season to season due to, you know, them not being able to keep seasons here perpetually forever. It's crazy. I didn't realize that there was that much monetization in this game. But hey, you know what, dude? I'm glad he's bringing it to light. He's a really big Destiny YouTuber, and if he makes an almost hour-long video about the shenanigans and bad monetization policy Bungie is making, maybe they will be forced to respond, or they'll be forced to change their act on this. Because it really does feel like the only thing they've really put in, like the thing they put the most work into, seems to be how to nickel and dime the players and how to lock the coolest stuff behind a paywall. This season alone, just the free stuff, I mean, I don't even know if anything in this season is considered free. Most of it is hidden behind the season pass, the seasonal content, the paywall, the events and stuff like that. I don't even know if I was a brand new player making a brand new account, what I would even have access to right now. Probably none of the stuff that not even this place where I'm standing in, I would have access to. It's crazy. I don't know. You'd have to watch the video for a better comprehensive breakdown as far as all the crazy things that they do. And for the most part, I agree 100% with them. I think the majority of the money that we spend on this game, only a fraction of it is being reinvested into the game to keep the game running, to do giant system sweeping overhauls, and to keep the player base intrigued and invested. The majority of that money is probably going to just how to advertise and monetize the cool armor sets and Eververse stuff, how to, you know, make the DLCs, the season pass, and even the dungeon keys worthwhile to spend money on by putting the coolest looking armor behind those paywalls. And then an even greater amount of that money is being invested into their new game, Marathon, which is a PvP game, while the PvP community in Destiny has been more or less abandoned, and they're not getting new maps. Balance changes are extremely slow to come out. They'll do a balance change maybe once every 6 weeks, maybe? Like mid-season balance changes or end-of-the-season balance changes. They don't do dynamic stuff where they balance patch things week to week. The closest I've ever seen of them doing a dynamic balance patch or something like that is when the new Trials glaive, they retroactively adjusted and changed the perk pool on that weapon to make it a little bit more viable, a little bit more enticing for players to jump into Trials to try to grind for. And even then, like, nobody cared for that glaive. That glaive sucks. So at the end of the day, it seems like the majority of the money that players spend on this game, a fraction of it goes to actually improving the quality of life changes to the game, providing system overhauling and overarching system changes that players actually genuinely want and players that are requesting for, but the majority of it goes right back into the Eververse store just to make more money, which sucks, but that is what it is. I hope Bungie watched that video too. I hope somebody at the higher-ups linked that video to them, and Bungie's taking notice that the player base is starting to get a little bit fed up with their shenanigans, and with Diablo coming out too, like that game is blowing up right now big time, and Bungie is now has a serious competitor in the space for their players' time and their attention and their reason to even exist in this game. And if they don't start cranking out those balance patches, cranking out the worthwhile content for us to actually play, and cranking out free stuff for players to enjoy, the majority of the player base is going to just disappear until, you know, something worthwhile comes back to it. But yeah, for the time being, guys, we're going to call the video here. And again, if you like the video, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe so you can stay tuned with more content that will be coming out into the future. I know for sure that we are doing more Diablo. That's going to be one of those longer form games where exploring the world and doing those story missions is going to take forever. Also, we've just started our playthrough for Aliens Dark Descent. I think we'll have a video of that coming out either today or tomorrow when this video goes up. And yeah, we'll see you next time.